Hello, this is Intuitive Anna Priscilla, and it's the week of September 25th, I believe. Tomorrow will be. And as you know, I've been doing a series of featuring certain decks each week on my channel so that you can see all sorts of different energies and decks that I work with. So this week we're going to do the Oracle decks of Denise Linn. Now, Denise Linn is a remarkable, epic spiritual teacher of our time. She is a published author, written many books, has run many workshops, many retreats. She also has these 6 oracle cards she's created. She's also coming out with a new one, I believe. She's in her 70s. She's a member of the Cherokee Nation and has been on the spiritual scene for quite a while. I've been fortunate to study with Denise. Last year I did a month kind of retreat which focused on shamanic studies, but she doesn't call it that. She really talks about the fact that we all come at some point in our ancestry from some indigenous culture. She's traveled worldwide and worked with all sorts of indigenous healers and medicine men. She does not call herself a medicine woman or say she's representing any particular tradition. She's just helping us to get in touch with our own native spirit. And you'll see there's a deck of oracle cards with that name. So if you haven't come across Denise, check her out. She is just a phenomenal, wonderful, great mindfulness teacher that will lead you back to your soul. So I wanted to work with her cards this week. I put them in order of chronological, how she released them chronologically. So the first card deck we have here, the Oracle card deck we have here, is the Soul Coaching Oracle cards. She does have a course on Hay House, which is quite an extensive course. It's her way of reading cards, which is soul coaching. And you can study this over a period of months, and then after, I believe, doing 88 readings, you can be certified by Denise in this particular method she has of reading cards. And her focus is listening to the soul, bringing us back to our soul, to our purpose in life. So in this deck, the little introduction to this deck, she talks about we're not coaching our soul is coaching us. And we are often given signs, little nudges, intuitions that can lead us back into being basically whole and at one with our soul and our life's purpose. So these cards are out of print at the moment. I believe she's revising them and going to bring them back in a different form, particularly because people in her soul coaching class need these cards. So I'm working through that class. I've been at it for a couple of years, but she has a very definite way of teaching how to read oracle cards, and it's coaching. It's really soul coaching, life coaching, but coaching which is based on your soul's messages. So let's just have a little look at these cards, what they look like. They're very beautiful, very simple. So each card has a little image, very, very simple artwork, a title, and then a sentence. So this one is, I breathe deeply, knowing that all is well in my universe. So a reading with this can give you, these are messages from your soul. Believe the best is yet to come. So these are beautiful, very simple, but very profound cards. So that's the soul coaching deck we'll be using sometime during this week. Then the next deck of cards, this is actually the first deck of cards that I learned to read oracles with. It was not from Denise Linn, but this deck was really where I learned to read the symbolism and the meanings of oracles. So these cards are interesting because she's designed them. It says these oracle cards are the keys to opening mystic gateways that grant you a direct connection to sacred inner realms. So all the cards are gateways to your inner realms, your inner knowing. And this one deck particularly focuses on, they help you to understand the meaning of the signs and symbols in your dreams as well in your waking life. So this is a very symbolic deck, and studying the symbols can give you great insight into what's going on. So cherishing self, here you have a little table set. I accept and love myself. So I love myself. I give myself roses. I give myself gifts. I enjoy wine. I have my coffee and cookies. I have my salad. So this is teaching us that we need to cherish ourselves. But these could be symbols of cherishing ourselves or someone else as well. Oh, here we have cultivating prosperity. The abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. So here we are, we're planting seeds. We're planning ahead. We're cultivating for the future. So you can study every single little symbol on these cards and get a great insight into what's going on and what way you need to go forward. These are beautiful. I love these cards. That's the Gateway Oracle. Then we have the Native Spirit. This is the deck that was used in my, this and a couple of the others, but the Native Spirit. Now, people, she's a member of the Cherokee Nation. Here's a picture of Denise. She's traveled all over the world and studied with different shamanic or oracles from different cultures. So what she believes is that we're all from an indigenous culture if we go back far enough, and we have the memories of this knowledge in our inner knowing. So these symbols are, in this deck, relate probably more to, we relate a lot to Native American culture here in the Americas, but she's also got universal symbols or images that would be used in indigenous cultures throughout the world. So I know there's a big thing about cultural appropriation, but her argument is that we're all part of this ancient indigenous tribal knowing, and that we can access that ourselves. And the training I did with her last year, we have the spirit of water, so everything is living in the universe, in the world we're living in. And indigenous cultures used signs from nature to determine what was going on, what was going to happen, or what would be the best thing for their tribes. So, Freedom Horse. These are photographic, a little bit different type of image. So, she's not doing a cultural appropriation. She's saying that these concepts are universal, although she is a member of the Cherokee Nation. So for her, she's relating through her Native American heritage. So as long as we're not pretending we're Native Americans, I mean, for example, my culture would be Celtic, so it would be Celtic shamanism, or Scandinavian through my Danish shamans. So every culture has had wise people who help them access or read the signs from other worlds. That's pretty much her thesis, the ancestors. So here we have standing stones. There is a book that goes with this deck, and it's wonderful. She also teaches you how to make medicine bag, drumming. She makes drums. She's a great drumming advocate. So perhaps in one of my videos, I'll start with drumming, which I learned from Denise. Okay, so the next deck we're going to look at is the Sacred Traveler. And she says in her classes this is one of her favorite decks. Now, the Sacred Traveler, the way she uses this is that we all have intuited at some point that we have a sacred traveler accompanying us through life. It could be our guardian angel, a guardian spirit, a spirit guide, an ancestor, our soul, our inner wisdom. But these cards are positioned as speaking through the sacred traveler, messages from the sacred traveler. So let's see what we get here. And you'll see the artwork in these is very different. So ascending the mountain. And all of the cards have this image of a journey, that we're on this journey through life. And that we're accompanied by our soul, the voice of our soul, the voice of our ancestors, the voice of our guides. And a very simple message, keep going forward. So the artwork on this deck is different. All the artwork is different on different decks. Here we go, narrow pathway. So you're walking across that narrow little bridge here. Tread thoughtfully, and you can see to make it to the other side, you have to be extremely aware, extremely mindful. So these cards have different sort of imagery. A wandering path. Enjoy the journey. So here we have a map, being crafty, creating a map for your journey. And you can see the roads in these. So these cards all have the symbolism of being on a journey, which we are. We're on a journey through life. So the next deck is the Sacred Destiny deck. Now this is purely natural images from the natural world. This is actually one of my favorite decks. I love this deck. It says, these oracle cards call upon the energy of nature and majesty of the natural world to provide answers to the heartfelt yearning of your soul. So her thesis is that we all, through our indigenous ancestors, have a deep sacred remembering and connection to the natural world, and that if we're aware of signs from the natural world, we can use those to guide us in our journey through life. So I love, love, love this deck. It's a very beautiful natural image deck. So here we have new beginnings. We have a volcano creating a new land, new world. Then we have potential. So this is very, very simple but very profound action. We have the movement of water. We have the movement in the sky. Abundance. So we have the abundance of the field. So this imagery, again, is quite different. So with Denise's decks, you can also choose the deck that really speaks to your inner soul, your ancestral knowledge, because actually they all do that. That's what they're all about. Let's put our stones here. Let's make our little stone circle. There we go. Okay, so the last but not least deck, this is her newest deck, called the Sacred Forest Oracle. Now, Denise, when she was a teenager, was shot, and she spent a long time in rehabilitation. And she found that there was a healing garden on the other side and in another dimension that she went to during this period. And she called it the Sacred Forest. So she does a lot of meditation and healing work with this deck. So people imagine that they're in this forest and they're speaking with the guardians of this forest. For example, here's the forest temple. There's a meditation here. And there's also an accompanying audio recordings that you can download. There's a link in the front of the book, and you can listen to meditations with each of these cards that Denise narrates. So this is a interactive, very interesting deck. It's a little bit like in my Reiki training. I was taught to build a Reiki temple, on another dimension or in my consciousness, where you could go and do your Reiki healing and Reiki work. Well, this is a sacred forest, which is another world that you can create where you can go and do your self-healing, your healing work, and be in touch with the natural world and the spirits of the natural world. So here's the latest picture of Denise. It says, Denise Linn, the best-selling author of 19 books translated into 29 languages, has researched healing traditions from cultures throughout the world. So her healing work is based on the natural world and the signs and our relationship, which of course is, we're part of nature. And when we disconnect from ourselves from that, we become ill. And you can see this in our environmental degradation, and people are losing their bearings and getting a bit crazy. So she also has the energies that are alive in the sacred garden of the sacred forest, the nature energies. We have the wise woman of the grove. So these are pictures, forest pictures throughout this image, this deck. So those are the decks here we go, Earth, Spirit, Stability. So these are the decks we're going to be using this week, and a lot of people think, oh, you can't get a good reading with oracle cards. Well, they're not meant to be fortune-telling cards. What these are ways to access, gateways to access the inner reaches of your soul, and to hark back or relate back to the circle of life. There you go, that we're all part of. So you find yourself back, your place in the world, your place in the cosmos, and this brings wholeness and healing. So we're not going to be doing predictive readings with these cards. We're going to be doing spiritual journeying, let's call it. So just to finish, I'm going to pick a card from each deck to give us guidance for the next week. So this will be my guidance for the next week video as well. So from the soul coaching cards, we have silence. I am serene no matter what is occurring around me. So this is the silence of the soul, the silence of your inner being. So try to spend some time in silence this week. Find the silence, turn off your cell phone, turn off your mental chatter. Just sit in the silence and see even if you can find a silent place. The only silent place you may be able to find is within yourself, because we live in a very noisy, very crazy, busy world. So this week is the gift of silence. Let's do the gateway. Oh, we did cherishing self. Let's pick another one here. Believing in magic. True magic is abounding in my life. So magic is the idea that we think something's coming magically from somewhere else. But also once we tap into the inner worlds or the other dimensions, anything can happen. And the magic is in you. You can create anything. You can see here there's a key, there's a dolphin, there's fish, there's music, there's gifts, there's planets. The whole world is magical. So this is also an invitation to see the magic in the world around you this week and appreciate how miraculous everything really is. So let's pick from the native spirit, a card. And we have Spirit Keeper of the North. So the north is the winter. So we have just had the fall equinox, the autumnal equinox. So we're moving towards winter. So the autumn represents the harvest, the dying back, like my tomatoes are starting to go, and we're moving towards the north. The north is about sleep, meditation, quiet, the inner journey, which is what we're studying this week, the silence. It's also about the change of the seasons. So think about how the wheel of the year is turning this week and where we are in the year. The Spirit Keeper of the North is also the Spirit Keeper of darkness and night and dreams. So there's some ideas about what to work with those cards this week. those images, sorry, those energies. Let's have the Sacred Traveler card for the week. Breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand. Okay, this is pretty accurate because we're actually starting to do a week of breaking ground on working with our soul. There we go. We're creating a pathway for ourselves with these cards too, to move forward in the journey of our soul. So what do you need to do here to clear a path forward for yourself? Also, a breakthrough is at hand. You may have been working on a path for a long time, and suddenly a clearing will come upon you. You'll come upon a clearing, and it will illuminate the way forward for you. So this is, you already saw those. This is the Sacred Destiny card deck with the natural images. Oh, this is perfect for fall. Release. The trees are releasing their leaves. It's time to release anything that we don't need in our life anymore. Time to cut down the crops. Harvest. It's harvest too. But also let go because the winter's coming. So the trees are getting ready here for winter. They're letting go of anything now that we don't need. So this is a perfect image for the autumnal equinox where we are. So what is it you need to release to move forward in the next part of your year or week or life? And then the last deck we're going to look at the card is the Sacred Forest. And this is Storm Spirit, Chaos. So this is reminding us that the earth or our energy, our souls are not always peaceful like we had in the first card earlier on in this video. So there's chaos, and chaos is also a principle in the universe. Everything can revert to chaos. Chaos is the great destroyer, but also the great creative force in the universe. So where's the chaos in your life? Where's the chaos in your soul? How do you feel chaos is influencing your life this week? It's a very, very powerful image. Look at that. Forces of nature. When a storm comes, we know it, and we seek shelter. So chaos is related to uncertainty. We really don't know. And we cannot control the forces of chaos always in our life. So let's look at what we have. We have silence, believing in magic, spirit of the north, clearing. Okay, let's see how these work together as a reading. So the first one is silence, because we're starting on a new journey, a new soul journey this week. So we have to go in and find our silent space. But also there's a magical universe that we will find that's within us and without us. So we have to believe that it's possible also to tune into the magic around us. Then we had the spirit of the north. We're moving towards winter. We're also moving towards a period where things are dying and resting and sleeping. So again, this is part of our inner journey. We're heading true north. North is also the direction of the compass. So we're heading north. So this is the quiet, silent place that we're looking for this week. Then we had the, here we go. This is another autumnal image here. Breakthrough is at hand. We're breaking a new trail. We're moving forward on our soul's journey here. Then we had, again, the release. So all of these autumnal images are showing us that we're in the end of one cycle, beginning of another, but also a shedding, an inner trip here. We're going towards the winter. We're going towards an inner space. but there's chaos. And often when you start on this spiritual path, all sorts of things erupt from your unconscious. So just because we're working with our soul or our spiritual progression this week, it doesn't mean it's going to all be sweetness and light. We're unleashing very powerful forces, and forces that our ancestors faced and that are buried in our collective unconscious. So it could be a bit of a rocky journey once you start opening up and traveling in the sacred forest. So there we are. We're having, that's our journey this week. So I hope this was interesting. So take those cards as you're reading for the week starting September 25th. And we will be using these oracle cards this week on a whole new journey that I hope you'll enjoy taking with me. Thank you for listening, and if you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Also, if you'd like a personal reading, I will put my email in the description box where you can contact me to set up a reading, or you can also purchase one from my Etsy shop, and the link will be below for that as well. So thank you for listening. If you like these, please like and subscribe, and I'll be back